But yeah, going back, Jaime Munguia versus Tekashi. This was another fight at 154. I think, man, for me, this was a good, entertaining type fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just a good slugfest, guns out. There was two different styles. You know, Tekashi, he was really trying to establish his style. You know, he was a little, I didn't know he's like a little diesel dude, man. He came out with big arms, you know, wide shoulders, and he just had the strength at times that he was trying to put on Jaime. But I think Munguia, he had like, he definitely had the height on him and the power advantage and somewhat boxing skill. But I think after looking at that fight, I definitely got to say, to me, Jaime Munguia, he still has a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
But him having over 5 fights since last year, and you know, one of those being, you know, the title fight, him winning this belt, it's gonna be grind time soon, man. And I mean, like, being a belt holder, man, you really can't wait. And after seeing this fight and just how big he was, I really think he needs to be a middleweight.
Well, he said this is his last fight at 154.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing about going up to 160 is definitely a lot of dangerous fights up there. You know, a guy like Munguia who got some defense deficiencies, you know what I'm saying? That might be, you know, not so much a good look for him just hopping up to 160. So we'll see. I mean, I thought the fight was an entertaining fight. You know, Tekashi had probably the craziest style, one of the craziest styles I've ever seen in boxing. You know, wasn't too familiar with him. I think this was his first fight, you know, in the States or whatever, but it definitely was just like a slugfest and just interesting to see this little Asian guy going up against this big Mexican guy, you know, to be honest. But like you said, Jaime, he definitely got some holes in his game, like every young fighter, to be honest, you know what I'm saying? But to me, staying active, he's around the right people, and I'll be interested to see how he pans out. And you know, I know the defense has been, you know, an issue that they have claimed they've been, you know, working on and addressing, but he's been active a lot too. You don't just tighten up your defense in one fight. It's a process. So that's a good
question I have then. What do you think, man? Do you think he got to slow down the activity and, you know, fight a little bit more, two fights a year?
I mean, that could be something, because you can't just keep going out there taking punches, you know, or learning the hard way, you know what I mean? Because they see a future for this guy, you know what I mean? So, they don't want him just going out there taking unnecessary punishment. But that's a good point, you know, because he fought 5 times.
Yeah, last year. Mm-hmm. And that's starting off big this year.
Yeah, that's, you know, crazy. So, it's probably no other guy holding the belt that's fighting like that, to be honest, you know what I mean? So that could be something that he may want to take in consideration. You know, a lot of guys nowadays are learning on the job, man. And boxing is not really a type of job you learn on the job. You know what I'm saying?
No, it ain't. It's really not, because it's, to me, I always liken it to big tests. You know, you got to do the homework. Then you got to apply it in the real fight, because if you're doing it along the way, you're gonna fail a lot. You know, you're gonna be failing a lot whenever you know when the big time, you know, it's really time for crunch time. You know, you really gotta perform. And I think that for Jaime, they've been kind of lucking out because he's been fighting at 154. There's not that many hard hitters there, you know, yet. I mean, there's Hurd and Charlo, but they've been kind of taking these other guys to kind of tighten up the boxing skill. But it just kind of looked off in this fight when he was boxing against Tekashi. It just seemed like he was still too green, you know what I mean?
I mean, and let's take in consideration too, man. Tekashi had a crazy style, man. You don't think? I mean, this dude was charging at you like a bull. He was, you know, like you say, short and strong. You know what I mean? He wasn't in there with like the you know, perfect opponent either. You know, this guy was crazy.
Right. But it kind of shows you there too, like, okay, these are the things that we might need to get done now at 154 before we go to 160. Just like, you know, just like simple things to nullify, clinch.
Absolutely.
You know, sap his energy, body shots, you know, get some more. He got some body shots in, but Jaime kind of went into the ropes too much. Like whenever he would bull him, he went into the ropes and kind of was getting tagged with an overhand right. That's why I was kind of like, you need to meet him in the middle, show him you the bigger guy, you know? Because like Hurd, he meets you in the middle. You know, he might absorb some punches, but he meets you in the middle and kind of make you crumble. That's why I felt like Jaime just kind of meet this guy in the middle, tie them big arms up, because you tie them muscular arms, they're going to get tired,
Yeah.
So I just felt like that was kind of the time to do that now, because when you move up to 160, they're not really going to expect you to step down now, right? You're going to have to fight these guys. Like,
absolutely. I mean, they talking about Canelo, they already mentioning crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they already mentioning crazy stuff. So like I said, they are investing in this guy. This is something that, they see a future for, but I mean, you still got to be realistic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because, like, I would, I'll give him the pass to fight a Selecki or something like that, or Lemieux, what I mean? Like, one of those
guys.
Those
will be dangerous tests for him.
Those are dangerous tests, right? But, like, I don't think he's anywhere, a guy that could fight Canelo next, even if they are trying to get him ready,
Absolutely. But, man, he's 22. I mean, he look like a baby, and I mean, he like really, like I say, it's so much of that, and this learning on the job, and okay, to me, that equates to people are getting belts before they necessarily deserve them. You know what I mean? Because it shouldn't be that way. It didn't used to be that way.
Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? Before, when you got that belt, you were the man.
You had to work for it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just handed to you. You know what I'm saying? If you got the belt, you beat the guys all the way up. You worked your way up the ladder until you got your title shot and you won it. I mean, that's the way it was. But now it's like a guy can get a belt before his skills are on the championship level, and he's, and like you say, you will be able to hit or miss and skate through for a while, but eventually you're going to get that test. I mean, we talking about AJ, another guy who said out his own mouth that I'm learning on the job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got a guy, Jaime Munguia, learning on the job. You know what I mean? It's a couple more guys out there that, just really had a belt and they learned on the job. I mean, the Charlos, belts, learning on the job. You know what I mean? As we seen in their last fight, they're learning on the job. So that's kind of anomaly for right now, because it wasn't always like that.
Yeah. When you look at like the pedigree, a lot of the guys we used to watch back in the day, they had before they got there, they were just working to get the belt, but they already had the skill, along the way. Excuse me. They already had the skill. They were just trying to work to get to the belt, not as far as their style or their skill. They already had that to get them there. But as far as like the promotion, the red tape, getting through all these little cracks to get to that championship fight, that was the hard work.
Yeah, they were ready. You know what I'm saying? It was just a matter of, the politics. Now it's less politics and guys are skyrocketing the belts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it real quick, man, because that just like, what do you think, man, like, of a guy who's more talented that comes in with the talent versus a guy who has to learn on the job? Like, what's the longevity of having to learn on the job, man? Like, being that type of champion, like we seen it in the past, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's long, and I mean, like I just said, I mean, boxing is not the type of job, sport that you learn on the job. I mean, because one mistake, it could be over.
Right. For
good. So it's definitely a talent-based sport. It's no, whereas like basketball, you had a guy like Shaq. They knew Shaq was going to play basketball since he was a kid because he was huge. You know what I mean? He had all the, he had the frame and the body to play basketball. Was he the best player? No, he didn't have to be because he had the size. In boxing, that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's no look of a boxer. You either can fight or you can't. You know what I mean? It's guys with muscles. It's guys with no physique. Both of them can knock you out. You know what I mean? We see guys with no physique who's a knockout artist. We see guys with muscles that can't bust their way out of wet paper bags. So it's a little different in our sport like that. You have to have, it's a talent based sport. And it's no way you can't just, we seen different things like Adrian Broner, the social media thing. I mean, that's another lightning in the bottle. That's not going to happen for every fighter the way he came up. But, you have to have this talent to last. You can, make a splash. Mm-hmm. You might can grab a belt.
Yeah.
But to last in this sport and to really be like legendary and, stamp your legacy, you got to have skills, man. There's no way around it. Yeah. It's nowhere. It's no team. It's not the whole team went to the Super Bowl. No, it's you. So everything is based on you and your talent,
Yeah. That's like one of the number one things, man, is your talent, because I don't know why, just like a few guys keep popping into my mind where I just seen them, back when I just read magazines before we had the internet, looking at Ring magazine, and I used to see guys win a belt. All of a sudden I'd be like, damn, how'd they get that belt? You know what I mean?
Right.
And then they lose it in the next fight. Because I was like, I didn't see anything special about so and so, but they got the belt. They worked for it. Hard work will get you there, but that talent will help you keep it.
That's the difference. Exactly.
That's why I say, I can't, get mad at these guys when they lose it. They just lose it to a better person. You know what I mean? Like, I seen these guys, I'd be, they got the belt, this guy, he got a belt, but then next thing you know, it's gone.
It's gone. And that's why, despite how a lot of people feel about him, I mean, somebody like Triple G, he was just kind of like that closest kind of throwback where we seen a guy just have a belt and defend it, regardless of his opposition. We hadn't been seeing that in a long time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he had Klitschko with the long reign, but other than that, who else was really kind of, Floyd was popping in, popping out, popping in, popping out, popping in, popping out. But as far as, just, reigning, we hadn't seen that in a long time. You know what I mean? So for me, that's a good feeling, because that's a throwback. Like you say, now a guy win a belt and losing his next fight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The belts are being passed, flying around now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't really have like the long reigning the champion reigning too much, because it's just so much swapping. You know what I mean? It's like the thing with on the job training. It's just like it's a gamble. It's a big gamble. Any fight's a gamble, but I'm just saying, like, any chance you take's a gamble, but it's a bigger gamble whenever you just saying, we're gonna try and work on this, keeping this left hand up in this fight. We're gonna work on this fight, but that might be the night you get hit with a body shot. You're trying to block this right hand, but you get hit with a left hook to the body. Then you forgot that you needed to train for that. So
I mean, like the Munguia thing, just. Cause they got him on that machine right now. I see him with Oscar. I see him doing all this stuff, and it's like, it's intoxicating. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
for him, it's probably like pressure, but at the same time, it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun, and it's like, I mean, you young and you sipping the juice. I mean, Oscar De La Hoya telling me I'm gonna fight Canelo. I mean, that's a lot for a young kid who looks at De La Hoya as a legend. Mm-hmm. So it can be dangerous mentally too, just all this stuff happening around people where, you got to think the people around him want him to fight 5 times a year because he gets paid to fight 5 times a year. He don't get paid to be in the gym training, working on this, that, and the thing. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's a machine around him, and everybody might not have the best intention, but as long as he's fighting, he getting a check, and people getting broke off. You see what I'm saying? So,
because it's like, I was just about to say, it's like a movie. How you said, you got a kid that's like, you said, 22, thrown into this, golden boy deal or whatever deal, where this is his first time, so he's excited, and he's excited just to be in the ring. So the other guy, they excited to make money. You know what I mean? So they be like, hey, let's get him in there.
Exactly.
Each time we getting broke off or something. So
for not fighting, you know. So if his defense sucked, hey, we not taking punches. You know what I'm saying? Right. I mean, and that's terrible. It's like, the bad part about the sport, where people just to take advantage of people. This kid might be a kid that we need to hold back for another year or two, the same way I mean, think about it. They was going to feed him to Triple G until the commission said, no, are you crazy?
Yeah, they were.
No way.
They were, because, it kind of goes back to styles, fan-friendly styles. They know as much as it's bad for you to take punishment, they can still make money off your punishment. You know, like Arturo Gatti. You know, Arturo Gatti is exciting. You know, they say he got the heart, but at the same time, promoters, they can make mad money off him because, you know, he's gonna take hits. We don't care how much he takes as long as he can keep taking.
And that's like the dark side of. I mean, because
real quick, UFC. You know, Dana White. He's not even backing his champ Teron Woodley half the time because he's more of a safety first fighter. You know, he's going after his balls to the wall fighters. You know what I mean?
But I'm just saying something that the fact that you would feed a 21-year-old kid to one of the hardest punches at middleweight and put his life on the line, you know, those are grown men. This is a kid, you know what I'm saying? And they were ready to defeat the commission as grown men. Yeah. Old men. It's not no 20 nothing on the commission. These are grown men and they were ready to feed, you know, I mean, not the commission is the ones who saved him. You know, but the people around him, you know, that's like disgusting to me though, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For the sake of one check. That might have been the only check he ever got because he might not afford after that. Yeah,
like the Jaime we see him do 5 times a year, that guy could have been toe up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he could have been somewhere, in the hospital drinking through a straw. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but we can't forget what we dealing with. You know what I'm saying? It's still boxing, you know, and there's a lot of going on in the sport. You know what I mean? But to me, that just shows what a kid like him could be dealing with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You got to be. Not everybody's going to be, you know, the Floyd or, you know, up on their business because, you know, fighters, they still seen as horses too, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Not on your business. So.
Absolutely. And like for him, like, you know, look, people around me saying I'm good. I know it's stuff I need to work on, but I'm getting paid 5 times a year. That's a lot to battle with, you know what I'm saying? Do I not get paid 5 times a year and take care of my family and get us in the thing out of the situation? You know what I'm saying? Right. Or do I sit back in the gym? Because people say I'm good. And I think, well, you know what I mean? Right. It's a lot going on right there.
Well, hopefully there comes that balance when he realizes that it's going to be smarter to get paid more off of 2-3 fights a year than what you were making off 5. You know, he probably ain't wise to that yet. You know what I mean? Like, guys now, you know, some are overwise to it. You know what I mean? Like a Thurman and them, they want to fight 1 to 2 times a year because they know they can make more in those 2 fights. But I mean, there got to be that point where Jaime realizes that, you know? But what do you think, man? Middleweight from here, if he had to move up, who would you want to go ahead and see him in there with?
I mean, to be honest, a first middleweight fight, he could get it in with, I think, a Willie Monroe.
That'd be good. Yeah, that'd be good.
You know what I'm saying? Throw Willie in there with him.
Yeah, Willie's like a boxer, soft to touch for him as far as, you know, the power. Not something too far to jump in on. I think, that would be good, man, because, like I said, I ain't going to really expect anything less of him. So it's got to be somebody in there, man.